it's tempting. It's tempting to compare your friend's new home or maybe your neighbor's exciting new opportunity to your own circumstances, to your own life. But my next guest has a better idea. She says learning to trust the timing of your own life is a lesson all women need to practice at. And today she's teaching us how. Life coach Tiffany Peterson joins me. You gave me a little sneak peek at our topic during the commercial break by saying it's juicy.
It's juicy.
It's juicy.
Yes.
Timing, Tiffany. I feel like as moms and women, we so often project this idea that trust the timing on everybody else. Why do we struggle with that idea?
Oh my goodness. Because it's in our mind that we think like life should be different than what it is. Maybe I'm late, I'm behind, this should have happened by now. Or like you said, in comparison, right? Like, well, my girlfriend or my family or this person or all of the people I follow on social media, this is what they look like, this is what's happening in their lives, their kids, their homes. And it's just a really easy place to get into, but then it like robs us of the joy of the day and the life that we're actually living, right? Is if life is always on postponement of, well, somewhere down the road, then it will be, rather than are we in trust that life is right on time.
I like that phrase, in trust.
Yeah.
Are we in trust? You really do firmly believe timing is everything.
Yes. Well, I believe that trust is everything to timing, right? I have this great friend of mine, Paul Jenkins, and he said this to me a couple of months ago. He said, what if your life is right on time?
What if your life is right on time?
And it's a big what if. And we're thinking, okay, well, maybe it is. And I don't know if we can't prove that, Brooke, right? Like I can't scientifically prove to say, Brooke, your life is right on time. My life is right on time. Or any one of you watching, your life is right on time. We can't prove that.
True.
But what we can do is we do get to choose how we think, and we get to choose how we perceive life. And the way that what we believe is the lens of our life, right? And so I don't know about you, but it's a much better feeling thought when he said that to me, hey, what if life is right on time for you? Rather than in resistance of that, why didn't this happen, or this is not happening yet, or maybe this isn't ever gonna happen. You know, being able to navigate that, I get it.
And we can't prove it, yet I bet you couldn't find a woman who, if you talked to her long enough, has hit a moment in her life where she thought, okay, now it makes sense, right? You wrestle and you grapple through whatever it is, and then at some point, I think every woman has experienced that click where you think, oh yeah, it is right on time, or it did happen at the right moment, right?
Right, like look how all these things worked out. I think it really comes to then, it's number one, we choose to trust, right? And that trust is a choice, not a feeling. And that's a really important distinguishing factor. I can still feel sadness. I can still feel discouragement. I can still feel frustration. Trust me. I mean, I've had to intimately make peace with some things in my life where I thought my life would be in a different place right now, today, than the way it is, right? And so I get that. But it's, I choose to trust. And looking at that choosing to trust versus our feelings is, I sometimes don't have to like it. No one has to like that if you feel like, gosh, why isn't that promotion coming, or this thing with my family or my goals or relationships? But guess what? I choose to trust.
I choose.
I choose it.
We choose and then we cultivate, is your next challenge. Cultivate a trust mindset. What does that look like on the daily?
So I think what that means is that at the core, our beliefs are shaping everything, like we were saying. And so it's choosing to cultivate the mindset of trust and things like, do I believe life is working in my favor? Whether you want to say God, life, universe, is do you believe that God or life or universe has your back? That life is right on time, that things are always working in my favor. I can't, again, prove that one either, but I choose to believe that life is always working for my good. Like you said, sometimes life only makes sense looking back, right? And so it's being in trust of that, but we cultivate a mindset at the core foundational belief is life working in my favor? And that's also a choice.
You subscribe to a belief known as the as-if principle, or that's what you call it, the as-if principle. What is that?
So this is a fun, juicy life coach tip, right?
I'm ready. I love it. I love when a life coach rubs her hands together and leans forward.
Yes, here we go. Let's get into this. But I really love this concept is acting as if. It's one way that we can lean into some of the trust is, are you preparing for what you want? One of my favorite quotes of all time comes from a woman named Florence Shinn, an author in the 1930s, where she has said that man doesn't get what man wants, man or woman. Man or woman gets what he or she prepares for. And so the concept of acting as if, I can start today preparing for, like, I'm really working on my health this year, right, and health goals. I'm not currently where I want to be necessarily, but I'm in the process of. But I'm acting as if I'm becoming the healthiest version of myself.
What does that look like on a Monday through Friday?
Right, so I can be practicing, I can get my body moving.
Okay.
I'm mentally making better choices. I'm thinking healthier thoughts. And affirmations work like I am healthy. I'm taking great care of my body. I'm taking great care of my mind. And even though it's not about being perfect, I'm acting as if I'm moving into becoming the woman I want to be.
So is it more about mental motivation or physical motivation or both? Does it work in harmony?
Both. I mean, it's the same thing as if, let's say, I was expecting you to come stay at my home, I'd get my guest room ready. Whatever your goal is get the guest room ready, so to speak. And so that might be preparing client folders if you're wanting to attract more business, or you're going to get a map or a travel book of the country you want to travel to. And maybe the timing is maybe today you don't have any pennies left for travel, but you start acting as if and start gathering information, maybe creating a Pinterest board where you're believing as if the things you're wanting to move towards are coming.
Trust really is an internal principle more than anything else. And you say that introspection, that personal soul searching is really valuable in this pursuit.
So Brooke, when I have coming up for me like resistance to, or I'm feeling sadness, or I'm feeling frustration, or something that life is not on time in my belief, right? Or I'm feeling resistance to what's happening. I like to increase my introspection, journaling, meditation, things like that. But going to the question of what's this here to teach me? Because every circumstance has a lesson in it, doesn't it?
I have a love-hate relationship with that question. What am I supposed to learn? What am
I
I
know.
supposed to learn?
That resistance, like, Well, maybe have a bag of Cadbury mini eggs while you entertain the question,
Thank
right?
you.
But while you are journaling to that, or really just inquiring is, what's this here to teach me? Because there is a lesson. Everything I've been through and some of the toughest trials for my own life, if I will sit with that question, the gift or the lesson will come forward.
Is it about the lesson though, Tiff, or is it more about that peace of mind, that openness of mind, that I'm available for this teaching opportunity? Or is it really helpful to try to land on what you think that lesson is in the moment? Does that make sense?
Can we say yes and yes?
Yes and yes, okay, okay.
The lesson and the peace. But I think the point of this segment is you can choose to trust that life is working in your favor, or choose to trust it's right on time, or you can resist and be in fret, worry, and angst. So no matter what's happening for any one of us, the issue isn't do we have to like it or not, is I can still choose to trust, and by choosing to trust and choosing perhaps to find the lesson, I will have more peace in my experience. And that is a life I want to cultivate more of. I do want more inner peace as I navigate whatever's up for me.
And the resulting gift, you say, is one of presence, it's one of gratitude, which give us more of that.
Right? Like, the reality is this life is a gift, this very body, this very experience you're having. And I mean that more than just being a cutesy life coach. I mean that from like a deep spiritual place. And that when we are more in a space of gratitude for what is, grateful for what we do have, and we're more present that this is the day you're in and this is the gift that you've got, that's a life worth living. If you're always putting off living till it has to be different, I have to be different, my circumstances have to be different, then you're always living life on pause.
Beautiful message. Beautiful words, as always. We always get inundated with emails, how people can get in touch with you, learn more from you. Where do we point them?
My website's tiffanyspeaks.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Tiff Peterson.
Good words of advice, and
Thank
I
you,
appreciated
sister.
the invitation to have Cadbury eggs on hand as well. See, she gets us.
All of it.
From all sides. We love you. Thank you.